He got 50 or 60 months.
50. 50.
Now, and it's a lot of programs. He's already been involved in.
Yeah, he started programs.
That's not. I mean, that's not that bad. That ain't.
He'll
bad.
probably do another 2.5, 3 in real time.
He'll probably
in
do
jail.
another 2 and go to halfway house.
How do we think he feels?
Crushed.
Bro.
I think he expected the best.
Hey, no Diddy, man. No Diddy.
All right, we got to see what the Podfather had to say about Diddy's sentencing. Make sure y'all like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
The quick quote, a judge, significant sentence is required to deter. You say you're sorry and you won't do it again.
Uh-oh.
So we shall see. It's going to be...
What? Say it again?
This is a tweet thread, so it's kind of hard to keep track of everything, but he's saying that a strong sentence is needed for him to learn his lesson, essentially.
The judge said that?
Yeah, yes.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to tell you, they're giving him some time.
Really?
I think they're going to go by the guideline at this point. 60 months, 72 months, something like that, yeah.
None suspended.
The way I thought that until this judge started talking today. The judge seems, and I didn't hear it. I'm only reading the verbates, the transcripts, but it sounds the
Nothing
judge.
sounds like
Last tweet in this thread, the court reaches a few conclusions. 135 months would be more than necessary.
What?
Yeah. Right.
Let's talk about it.
But
I'll get to this Absol freestyle after this. What do y'all think about the gray area and the language being used? The judge is saying that acquitted behavior can still be considered when sentencing. So the people that are on one side are like, hey, that's not fair, that's not right, shouldn't do that. I was acquitted, I'm not on trial for none of that stuff. The judge is saying, I can indeed consider that.
Well, I was one of the people saying you shouldn't hold people accountable for things they were found not guilty for. And that does scare me as a legal precedent. Again, we always have to say this. It's not because I defend Diddy. It's not because I have any soft feelings for Diddy in terms of his actions or behavior or character. It's just that I don't want to set a standard where you can get acquitted for something and they can backdoor you and punish you for something you didn't do or something that you were not found liable for. However, the judge legally can do that. The Judge Subramanian cited case law to show that you can do it. So legally you can. But beyond that, when I thought about it more and read more about it, I was like, I mean, there is an argument. Sometimes you can be found not guilty but still agree to some of the facts of the case, right? So for example, I'm just gonna pick one off the top of my head, but let's say I go in there and let's say I agree that I attempted a robbery.
Okay.
I agree that I went to the bank and they charged me with a bunch of stuff. I get acquitted for a lot of the stuff attached to the robbery. Let's say I even get found not guilty of the robbery. But in defending myself...
50 months. 50 months.
That's what he got?
50 months.
There you go.
How long he been in?
I ain't got to talk.
He been in for a year.
A year. It's probably 12,
Yeah, he said
14.
a sentence over 11 years is not reasonable. Even the probation department recommends a sentence less than half of that, but 14 months time served would not be sufficient.
He got 50 or 60 months?
50. 50.
The 60 is common in the feds. I never hear nobody getting
60 is what the probation department recommended for him.
60 is common. That's just something they give out all day long.
Yeah.
So 4 years with 1 year that he did.
And then every
3 more
year
years.
you get a certain amount of good time. Federal good time is like
85?
50 days. Yeah, you get like 2
85%.
months. So you really only doing 10 months on each fed year. So you got to count it in 10 months. And then he go to the halfway house when he got like 13 months left. So
Yo, this prison math is crazy.
If he got one
and it's a lot of programs. He's already been involved in.
Yeah, he
started programs.
That's not. I mean, that's not that bad. That ain't.
He'll
bad.
probably do another 2.5, 3 in real time.
He'll probably
in
do
jail.
another 2 and go to halfway house. Go like a year and a half and go straight to the halfway house.
That ain't that bad. Now I'm certain
You get
he's
2 months off
disappointed.
each year.
Oh, I'm sure he's
4,
disappointed.
6, 8, 10.
I'm aware, but it's just I don't know.
How do we think he feels?
Crushed. I think he expected the best.
Yeah. I think he thought he was
think
gonna
the
walk
whole
out of
time-
there.
Oh, it's 50 more months. That's minus, I don't know why he worded it like that. That's minus the 14 months already served.
Oh, that's more like
So
you
it's,
said.
yeah, 60 essentially.
Oh,
64.
they gave him 60.
Yeah.
But they did time served.
That's a lot for
They
prostitution,
on
but
his ass. Yeah, they are not fucking around with that boy.
That's
I ain't never heard no shit like that.
Huh?
But again, to the point that the judge was making, just to tie it together, there is an argument that even though Diddy was found not guilty of these other things, even in his defense, he acknowledged that he did certain things. And I think the judge is saying these are things that make you a risk. In the court exchanges that I read in the transcripts earlier, also the judge disputed Diddy's claims. Like Diddy said, I was seeking prostitutes for companionship and for their time, not for sex. The judge found that not plausible and said your statements are contradicted by reality, when judges start saying shit like that to you in a courtroom, they're showing some.
What side they leaning towards?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I'm not buying the shit you selling.
That's a crock of shit.
But why
too.
would you say that exactly? Why would you
That's
say
a crock
that?
of shit.
That's dumb.
Because plenty of that prostitutes got up there and said I didn't do nothing with Puff. He was just sitting there watching me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They still did something with someone, and he purchased the prostitute. So the charge ain't saying that you bought them and you fucked them.
I get that. I'm just saying, if I'm saying I was hiring prostitutes for companionship and whatever it was, I wasn't fucking them.
True, but if I paid for the prostitute to fuck somebody,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
The judge's bigger point, which goes in response to what you just said, and what you just said is that they're framing this as a victimless crime, the defense. And the judge is saying there are plenty of victims, including Cassie and including these prostitutes.
That I agree with.
So, but I think their point is you might not have been using them for sex, but they were used for sex. Yeah. And so therefore, and I think that's tricky because I actually don't think sex work should be stigmatized and criminalized. But if you begin from the premise that it is, and the judge seems to, because that's kind of their job too, then you have to say, okay, this was not victimless. Not if the victimless crime, the judge seemed to have a particular, pardon the expression, contempt for. And I think that hurt Diddy a lot.
Seems harsh, but I mean, every step along the way, they gave you something to let you know that that's how they would be considering this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not as harsh as it could have been.
Yeah. So I mean, it's bad news, but not the worst news for him. For him and his family, who were expecting him home
soon. He's gonna be 60 when he comes home. He might be close to 60 when he comes home. You know, like that's a big difference than like the spring, which was kind of what we were projecting as the best case scenario for him. I don't think nobody but Corey in here I think thought he was coming home today.
Me.
Oh, you did. You also said today. Some of us were saying like the summer or the spring. I thought they were going to give him the 11, but suspend a lot of it.
And I definitely thought it would be time served. With,
right.
Oh, dude, it is a little bit. 14 months time served.
So they basically gave him 64.
14 time served.
Right.
So 50 more from.
Which is.
I knew 50 sound weird.
Yeah. But you know the other thing that the prosecution used as a piece of evidence against Puff was they said he had a speaking engagement in Miami set for next week, and they were using that as evidence of his hubris that he's not taking this process seriously. Let me be clear. I don't know if Diddy really had a speaking engagement next week in Miami.
Yeah, that's a fucked up tactic.
The prosecutor's saying that.
Be a tactic.
Yeah, it's a tactic. I don't know if it's true or not, but it looked really bad.
Yeah.
Even saying to the judge like, oh, I was using him for companionship. It's like, why would you even go that route? I don't know why his legal counsel would allow him to say it's just stupid.
I mean, I think Diddy might really believe that.
Oh, but even if you believe it, your lawyer will say, look, I remember that distinctly from going to court with paid lawyers, difference from the public defenders. Paid lawyers' whole thing was how to win. They ain't give a fuck about what the truth was. Let me tell you how to win. I remember them telling me, like, you look too, like, angry. Like, look a little more meek in there. Like, I'm trying to not cry in front of him. You like, you looking like you with it, you know?
Yeah.
We trying to win. So it's like, if you already a black man, you already been exposed for being so freaky or sexually, you know, so it's like, that's the last thing you want to say is, oh, I just wanted to hug him. The last thing a motherfucker going to imagine you doing with any of these people is hugging or chilling or companionship or whatever. That's what I'm saying. That shit, those judges they got big, like, little small egos. It's real easy. They feel disrespected by shit like that. You lying, feels like direct disrespect to them versus you trying to save your life. So you have to be super honest, especially about what you do when you have admission of guilt, especially if you trying to plead to something. I did this. I want to get a chance to get back into society. I know I did something wrong. That's the whole flow of it. Like, you know.
It's also important to remember that a lot of these judges were prosecutors. So it's possible, I'm just saying it's possible, I don't know, but it's possible that the judge also resents that Diddy didn't get found guilty for more things.
Exactly.
So a lot of times the sentencing becomes an inroad around the actual criminal legal system and the criminal process. Like, okay, you were acquitted for these things, so now I'm going to roof you on the one thing that we did get you for.
Yeah. And
again, I'm not defending Diddy's behavior. It's hard for me to even come up with what's a fair sentence because of how I think about the system itself as an abolitionist.
Right.
But it's a messy. It's a messy outcome, and I don't know what the right answer is. But the judge's behavior and the judge's words are just very.
There's also a $500,000 fine.
Yes, $500,000 fine.
Damn.
Yeah, that's.
They whooped his ass.
$500,000 is a lot.
$500,000 after all
No,
this.
I'm not talking about the fine part. He said they whooped his ass. I'm just.
It could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been worse, but they fumbled their shit. So, you know, I don't know. I'm like you. Like, I I'm not defending Diddy. I'm not. You know what I mean? I think I think what he did was wrong. You know, like I feel for the victims, all that. But it's just when you're a black person, you just get fucked all the time. So like, it's hard not to look at that.
You want an appropriate sentence?
Yes.
What do you think would have been appropriate?
That's the thing. Like the charge is confusing to me. Like I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand like federally how that's that high up. Because that's the thing in the feds, they have a ranking system. I caught a fake case as a kid. My number was 52 because of the amount of drugs I had, right? So I had no felonies, so I was facing 10 to life. My co-defendant had 1 felony, he's facing 20 to life. If he had 3, it'd have been 30 to life. So it's just automatically the guidelines written down for you, right? But I just don't see
Nana
how...
was right about you. Oh.
I don't get it. You know what I mean? It don't make sense how that's a federal case. Like it just don't make sense to me.
What's that interstate
stuff? Is it the state line?
It's the interstate stuff, yeah.
I guess.
And sex, there are a lot of sex crimes that the states just don't have provisions for.
Yeah.
You know, and so they make them fed. That's what happened to the leader of the cult I was in. They became a fed case because it was traveling across state lines with the kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not because it was all Georgia. Georgia could have prosecuted, but because of the state line, then they made it a fed case.
Yeah.
And with Diddy, I think the feds were targeting him anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that was getting another way to get at him.
Yeah. You think he had a speaking engagement?
No, I don't. I don't think Diddy
wanted to speak anywhere publicly.
Yeah, who says, you know what? When I get out of jail next, I'm gonna go speak in Miami.
And who also is booking him?
Right. I think that's bullshit. Yeah. It would not.
Wait, hold up now.
Booking him.
Somebody's booking.
Somebody would book him.
If he'd have walked out of there today, somebody would book him.
An appearance is different than
that's a big if.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, you book it on the contingent.
If you were a booking agent and someone was facing a very public federal sentencing, you wouldn't be putting down no money to book him for nothing.
So I put a clause in there, and I would. I would book that early as possible so I could be the first one.
But what kind of place books him for a speaking engagement? And see,
Live. Oh, my fault. Go.
No, because I was going to say, it's one thing to say he had a interview. He's going to give his first interview to somebody for X number of dollars. They might be using semantics. So technically, that is a speaking engagement.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I could see that, but I don't see somebody saying, and now for our keynote.
Yeah, come to the university.
Act like he was speaking at Murray B. Well. Where you went?
Now that's a callback.
Oh, shit. Mary Birch, whatever the fuck he was talking about.
Like he was going to Mary
Birch. He was president.
No disrespect, Flip. No disrespect.
Hey, y'all niggas.
No disrespect to Mary Birch.
Mary Bertram.
Bertram, excuse me.
That's crazy.
President Bertram.
President Mary Bertram.
So even if they called it a speaking engagement, and again, we just freestyling right now because we don't know if that was even happening. If they called it a speaking engagement, it wasn't going to be a speaking engagement.
Right.
They just calling it that so it could look a certain way.
That's what I'm saying.
In the court.
All right, man. This is one of those topics where I can understand why Joe has Mark Lamont Hill on this show. Because, look, I can't repeat all of that stuff Mark was saying, but I agree with it. Because he was basically saying, look, it's two sides of this. Yes, now Diddy is getting charged for prostitution charges. And so, yeah, you could look at it and you might be able to say, okay, this is harsh for what he's being charged of now. But then don't forget, you got people on the internet playing that Cassie video saying, how could you watch this video and this guy gets 4 years? But those people have to remember that's not what Diddy was charged for. Only thing they could get him on was the prostitution. And it was a fair case because of, when it comes to state lines and things of that nature. Still, what happened to Cassie was horrible, and those stories we heard were horrible. But that's not what he ended up getting charged for. And so I can see both sides. I can see people wanting him to get charged for just all of the stories that we heard in court. But I can also see people wanting the law to be upheld by a certain standard and saying, okay, if this is what y'all got him on, we'll give him time that's appropriate to that. And I feel like they tried to give him the max they can give him for the prostitution charges. And so you even heard here they were confused about what the sentencing was, because they said 60 months, but From what I see, is 50 months. So he got 4 years and 2 months. That's what I've heard now. Now, when I see all of these images and it's showing Diddy on his knees, looking like he's crying, looking like he's sad, I think like Joe said in the pod, Diddy was expecting to just go home today. And a lot of people thought he would. I saw it was a video that they sent to the court. And it looked like it was a family video and basically his family pleading for him to be free. I saw online, they said the kids were saying they need their daddy to come home. I think, honestly, if I'm Diddy, I feel like it could have been worse. Yeah, you wanted to come home and look, he's a billionaire who's been in jail for a very long time. I know his spirits are broken, but brother, it looked like they could have got you on life at certain points. Like it was times where we thought Diddy had no hope. For him to leave with 4 years, he got lucky. You know, look, if I'm Cassie, do I feel like 4 years was enough? I don't know. But once again, Cassie chose to handle the situation how she handled it. And I can't even paint a picture about Cassie being some money hungry woman because look, she got kids. And also, I think she wanted to wrap this up as fast as possible because I don't think she wanted to relive a lot of those memories that she had to relive in the courtroom. So the fastest way to just get it behind her was essentially getting that check. You know, she had to come to court with this situation. She didn't want to come. All of these people got subpoenaed. At least most of them, if I'm not mistaken. But I know for sure Cassie wasn't just like, oh yeah, I want to go to court for this. This was a Fed case. I don't think Cassie wanted to come to court and talk about this and relive these memories. What she wanted to do was get her money and put this situation behind her, move forward with her children and her husband. Did certain things come out about this case that made me look at Cassie a little differently? Yes. But at the end of the day, we can't dispute what we saw in that video. And so that brings me back to, if I'm Diddy, you got off good. Because like I said, people will never forget that video. Now, this speaking engagement, I'm assuming that had to be an interview. Had to be. Maybe he wanted to sit down, confess to some things, get some things straight. Hopefully he wasn't going to do an interview talking about Cassie. But I think it was an interview. And yeah, that might have been a mistake. They might have used that against him. I don't think he should have did that at all. I saw some people saying it might be a tactic. I don't know what tactic it could have been. I didn't do too much research. Somebody could let me know in the comments. And hopefully the victims can find some type of solace for this. He is going to do time. He was taken down a notch. His esteem and his reputation will never be the same again. And to all the victims out there, people will look at him the way you look at him from now on. It won't be like a dirty little secret about what type of things that Diddy is capable of. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I will see y'all next time. Peace.